here, Hillbilly Half Acre Homestead. Welcome back to the homestead. This is somebody that you guys have been asking, or some of you guys and gals and ladies and gentlemen have been asking, where is Saw Guy? What happened to Saw Guy? Is he still around? And the question is, and the answer is, of course, obviously a resounding yes. This is Saw Guy. We have had him a full year as of here. Are you gonna show? Are you gonna let us show how pretty you are? He still got it, folks. Ain't he beautiful? No, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. He has been blowing some hair back here, and he has. See, this can all. He needs to be gone over. Poor guy. Poor guy. See,
I think that's one thing I want to do when I bring him in Sunday.
If you ever have any doubts when you've got this old matted fur like this, a lot of times I take a regular old slicker brush, but now a lot of this time, see, now that's loose. Okay, that's not hurting him. And the reason that it's matted up like this is because it's loose fur. Something wet touches it, he might poop or pee or spray or something, and it touches this and makes a lot of that fur stick together, and it makes the mats. Okay, see that? Okay, that looks a lot worse than it is. See here where he's molting fur? Okay, he's blowing all of that out, and he's blowing new fur. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. At first glance, I thought this was fur mites too. I don't think it is. Okay. This is him blowing, and some of it's not coming off because it's sticking together. See the mats? I just take and I plucked a lot of that, and see, he has had this done to him in the past. Obviously not recently because it's this bad, but he knows. He doesn't get upset. He pretty much lets us handle him. He is an old veteran. Okay, it's what he is. Okay. And I just go around, see there, them big old mats, and you can pluck them loose. But if you have a hard time with that, and that grooming is not what this video is about, folks. I'm just throwing this out here. But yeah, see, he's blowing some hair out up here too. You know what? I'm seeing a bare spot starting right there on his shoulder, and I'm seeing some dandruff in there. Dana, we're doing nails and stuff this weekend, right?
Yep.
When we bring him in, let's put him, which we've got others that we're going to do this with as well as a precaution. I don't think that's what this is, but I'm seeing dandruff right in there where that little spot is and first coming out. Let's go ahead and dose him for fur mites as a just in case.
Okay.
And I'm seeing, I don't know if that's earwax. That doesn't really look like ear mites, but the same stuff that will help with fur mites will help with ear mites, so we'll just do that. And we'll just, most of our rabbits are probably going to need that anyway, but the guys that have already gone into molt, if you give your rabbits ivermectin for fur mites, or something like that, now, sometimes that's a have-to case. It'll also treat ear mites, but I've also heard that it will make a rabbit go into molt. So if you're getting ready to show a rabbit and it's got a little bit of indication down in there possibly of ear mites, just put a little bit of oil down in there and let that take care of it. It doesn't make, if you just put a little bit, it's not going to come out and make a big mess on their fur, and you're not taking a chance of throwing them into a molt 3 days before a show. Okay? But if you don't have a show coming up within, say, a month, something like that, then yeah, you can go ahead and dose them with the ivermectin. I like it. It seems to be pretty complete, especially if there's a possibility of fur. Now, if there's a possibility of fur mites, you're not going to want to show that rabbit anyway, because it's going to be, there's going to be places that, yeah, you just don't want to take a rabbit to a show like that. And you can go ahead and dose them. I've heard of people putting oil on their rabbit to try to get rid of fur mites. Folks, don't do that. I remember back when I was a kid, I used to see people put old burnt motor oil on a dog for mange. nastiest looking thing. You could just look at that dog and tell that he felt worse after you put that stuff on him than he did with the mange before they did anything. So, you know, that's just one of them old wives' tales, I guess you'd call it. Not saying it wouldn't work, but if you can give a little dose of ivermectin, and it's fairly safe as long as you don't give too much, you're going to clear up the same thing, and you're going to cause a lot less problems, and they're going to be able to get back to their big, beautiful selves a lot quicker. Okay? So here, we're done with Saw Guy, I guess. We'll let him go back, but yeah, he's going to be going in for, he's going to be getting the treatment over the weekend here, because he's even got some hairs matting up on his tail. He looks like he don't have the, he don't look like he has much tail. Now, who's this?
Cheyenne.
How could I tell? Maybe by the way you were grunting when you carried her over here?
She's heavy.
This is, wish I had my scale out here. I'd like to know what she weighs. She should be, she has bred. Now Cheyenne, I've kind of got mixed feelings about. You know, she's got this big old long shoulder. See this? We were talking about long shoulders in a previous video. In fact, you may have just watched that video a day or two ago, or you may have just watched it today. See here where this catch is? See here where this top line starts? All of this is extra body, extra shoulder. This ideally should be right up here, and and she should be shrunk that much. Okay, see how long in body she is? Now look, to get her hind quarter to look right, look at how far forward her toes are. Right here's the front of her hip joint. That's where her toes are supposed to be. See how much she has to be over tucked to make her hind quarter look right? She's long body. We've got short-bodied bucks, okay? Not to mention she is full sister to Ace and to Bianca. And I'm just, before I get rid of her, I want to see what she can throw, okay? But bear in mind, Cheyenne has already had babies twice, and both times they were
neglected,
not taken care of. And very unhappy about that, and I've really got mixed feelings about what to do with any babies that she does throw. So, you know, the rabbit's going to be a poor mother. That's genetic. That can be genetic as well. You know, sometimes you just get a stupid rabbit, but it can be genetic as well. See those little mats? Makes them a lot more comfortable if you can, when you get time, put them up on the table. You don't have to do 50 rabbits in one day. Do 2 rabbits a day for 25 days or something, or just keep a rotation going, okay? Work on a couple of rabbits, try to make them, it makes them more comfortable, okay? Even if you're not showing them, it makes them more comfortable. You know, help them out, okay? You can have your rabbits, but if you don't love them, let somebody else have them. Let somebody else have them that'll love and take care of them, you know? Just because we eat rabbit around here doesn't mean we don't love and care for our rabbits, you know? Even if you're raising meat rabbits, those rabbits that are destined for your dinner table still deserve the very best care and love that you can give them until the time comes for them to become food. Okay? They deserve a good life, ever how long or short it is. And you know, that's my take on it. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. But now this gal right here, I can tell you, she's a fatty. She's a big gal.
So what's the next one you got coming?
Well, I've got her here. She was bred recently, and I wanted to see if I could find any indication. I was kind of afraid that she was too fat. Okay, easy, sweetie. Easy. Yeah, be careful. Okay, I have to look and see how far along she is. I don't think there's any youngsters in there, but it may be too soon. Okay, this is Cheyenne. Again, she is Bianca and Ace's full brother. And she is Gemma. Gemma's half. Or I said brother. She's Ace. Yeah, Ace and Bianca's full sister. And she is half sister to Gemma. Okay. Gemma and these other 3 guys that I mentioned, they share daddy, but they come from different mamas. Okay, this is Bianca. Okay, see this what she's doing? See what she's doing to me 2 weeks before show? Okay. But we'll work on it. We'll help that to come out. Now Bianca's always had a real issue with having some stray white hairs in her coat. They've never gotten any better. Only once have I ever had the judge to mention it or fault her for it or anything like that, but I've been told that this has to do with the fact that she descends from a mama, Marcy, who is Marcy's daddy was a broken rabbit. Or wait, no, her mama. Her mama was Grace Hall's Harmony, and she was a broken red doe, and which is why Marcy's hair is somewhat lighter in color. But as you can see, Marcy was bred to Chokehold Sorrel 96, who is just absolutely beautiful in color. And as you can see, threw some color back into Bianca. And Cheyenne had beautiful color as well. Anyway, see this lady here? Now see, she's got pretty nice deep shoulders for a red. Okay? If this was a white or a black rabbit, they would tell you these shoulders are horrible. But she's doing pretty good. Okay, come on, Scrunch. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. We're gonna get her to Tennessee. We'll try to see what happens there. If she can't pull off a final leg, I don't know. We may go ahead and breed her and let her wait until spring to try for another one. But she needs one as a senior, and she is a senior now. And she is plenty heavy. She makes weight. She makes everything except having that third leg as a senior. So we're going to work on that. So just going real quick, I know you saw Bianca in a video here not too long ago. Now this is what I'm talking about, folks, and I apologize for this. Sally she's been peeing all over herself. She's not been next to a buck, but what she's doing is she's getting up on that tile, and I may just have to give up and take it out of her cage for a while, because she's getting up on that tile and going pee, and then she'll sit in it. And you know, the tile, the pee, some of that'll sit up on there, and you know, naturally it eventually runs to the side of the tile and runs off. But she'll pee and she'll just sit there, and it'll soak back up into her fur, and this is just absolutely nasty. Okay, but Sally is still, yep, that's her. That's Sally right there. Now look at that body. Okay, see that nice deep body? This is what I wish every single one of my reds looked like. Okay, this is what you're looking for. This is what you want. Come on, Sally. Where's she put? Digging her toes in. She ain't wanting to put her feet right for me, but I think we got it now. Anyway, see that body? See here? See them nice deep shoulders? See how they start? See how that shoulder starts right at the base of the ears and comes up, peaks right above the toes there. See how it sloughs up? Now I'm not going to sit here and tell you in type she's a perfect rabbit, but I'm going to tell you that if I had reds with this body right here, they probably ain't no. I know in Arkansas there probably ain't another red that can beat it. And we'll see how successful it is. I don't think Sally's far enough along for us to tell anything about her yet. But she's put some weight on. Yeah, she's not far enough along anyway. I don't think. Anyway, she's put some weight on, and look at this. Look at that big old loin. She's still nicely muscled. She had gotten nursed down back that last litter that she raised. She had gotten nursed down to the point where her vertebrae here, her backbone was pretty pronounced. Okay, and I went ahead and bred her thinking that she could put weight on while she was gestating and carrying the next litter. I shouldn't have done that. I knew better than that. And I don't need the rabbits bad enough, you know, to endanger them. I just basically, the reason I did it was I wanted her to be able to raise another litter and have it pretty well close to weaned before the hot weather hit. And as it turns out, that litter, that resulting, that next litter, it didn't even live. And I'm sure that it had to do with the fact that she wasn't in condition to produce more babies. She also wasn't in any condition to raise or nurse anymore. Yeah, that all needs to be. She's going to have to get the treatment too. Sally's a little nervous though, and that's one reason why I don't want to stress her out unnecessarily, but this is just getting to the point that it's necessary. Okay, because she's a pretty good bunny, but she is what we call a nervous Nelly, and a lot of times we're better off just to let her alone. But this is, and it's even worse up underneath here, you know, and she needs to be cleaned up. She's got good clean ears. Hey, we'd like to see that. All right. But yeah, you get this body on a red, you'll be competitive. It'll be hard to beat. Now this body on a white, depending on where you're at, that may or may not get you anywhere, because everybody that had New Zealand's down there at Jonesboro this past spring got beat by a white rabbit that was better than this one. Way better than this one. But anyway, be that as it may, we're happy with every rabbit that we have, and so on and so forth. And we will, just like I always say, we work on continuously improving what we've got and what's going on. Now Annie, I want her to put on a little more weight. She should be 11 pounds, and she's not. Not real happy with that, but she was heavy enough that we went ahead and bred her, but she should be an 11 pounder, and I'm pretty sure she's not there. So anyway, yeah, she's just way hollow and sunken in places that she's not normally, and so, but it's nothing we can't fix. Okay, she just needs to put on some weight. She's not sick or anything like that. It's nothing, you know, nothing like that. It's just, yep, she's matted up around her backside too. Let's see. I don't remember exactly when Sally was bred, but check here. I don't think Sally's pregnant. Better she's not far enough along yet. Are we skipping Marcy?
Marcy was already in another video, so they seen.
Oh, okay, yeah. You just
saw
Marcy.
So was Roman Ace.
Huh?
So was Roman Ace.
Okay. Back in there, sugar. This is Winter. And just to give you a little bit of, for those of you who didn't already see, he's blowing some too. See, now a lot of this, they've got partitions in between their cage. Now a lot of what this is, and this is something that we run into. Okay, we give them hay, and they eat the hay, but a lot of the straw and stuff from the hay they don't eat. And if it stays on the bottom of their cage, they will sit on top of it, they will pee on it, and then it gets back in their fur. Same thing with the towel. Now, Winter doesn't have a towel, but what he does have on occasion is he's got a mountain of straw in there. We'll give him straw, and sometimes if he doesn't want to eat it, he will mash it down, and he will sit on it. Okay? You'll make him a little bed out of it, so to speak. The only problem is, nasty boy pees the bed, and then all this, he just sits in it, and all that straw that he's sitting on, it wicks up the straw and it gets back in his fur, because all these bucks, they've got partitions in between their cages. They can't spray each other. See how nice and white this is? Okay, this is just one of those where if we don't get the straw cleaned out of his cage quick enough, he's going to make a mess out of it, and then make a mess of himself. I pretty well have decided that we're through showing Witter anyway, but I still don't want him to look like somebody took a pee on him all the time. You know, a white rabbit should be white. Same way with Sally. I'm not happy with the way she looks. But this guy right here is Sally's son. We've also been using him to breed Sally. And I have my suspicions as to whether or not that has anything to do with why those white rabbits all of a sudden grew up, and at about 14 weeks of age, they all got bloat, and one at a time they all died. Okay? A lot of people would say, okay, it just happens. It just happens. Yeah, it just happens, but you know what? Sally's big red doe from her first litter that the coons attacked, you know, she had the one doe that lived. It was
Annie.
Annie's what I mean. Okay, Annie had that one red doe that lived from the coon attack back in what, January, February, whenever it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that one doe is still alive. Okay, and that one doe was in the cage with that white litter of Sally's. They were all getting bloat, getting diarrhea, and dying. That red rabbit lived in the same cage with them the whole time. Never got it. Okay? Now, if it's something airborne contagious or contact contagious, she should have had it. She was in the cage with them, in contact with them. Not to mention if they were blowing, breathing that, whatever they were sick with, if it was a bacterial infection or viral, and they were breathing it and it was airborne. Every cage around on that side of the building, everything in there should have had it. Okay? It was just those 5 babies. Now that they're dead, there's no more bloat. Okay? Now, I welcome your opinions. You know, I'm pretty well sure, and there's 2 reasons why I tried to breed Ace to Sally. Number 1, I'm mixing a red and a white. Okay? And I'm probably going to get some chestnuts, and I'm going to look over and I'm going to pick those best chestnuts, and I'm going to turn around and either save does and breed them to Witter, or I'm going to save bucks and breed them back to a red doe. Because they're going to carry genetics where they can be crossed with and produce either a red or a red-eyed white, depending on what we breed them to. And what I want to do is I want to use that to put some type from Annie's nice, beautiful body over there, Sally's nice, beautiful body over there, into my reds. But at the same time, I want to see what Witter can do as well, because he's not quite as typey a rabbit as Sally. But you know who his daddy is? His daddy's Saw Guy. So he should have some genetics within him that would make him able to throw red babies, possibly some very nice red babies, with some of these red does. And I'm trying to think. I haven't done it yet. Yeah, no, I haven't done it yet. But I think sometime this fall I'm going to breed Witter. I was going to do it the other day, but Witter being my oldest, well, next to Saw Guy, Witter being my oldest buck, I was afraid that he would have been most likely to have been affected by the heat and have gone sterile. So I didn't breed him to anybody this recent round. Whoops. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give, you know, weather's doing pretty good now. Everybody should be back into where they can, you know, where they're not sterile, all the bucks. But I'm just going to give him a little bit more time because he is my oldest buck, and it seems like the older the buck is, not only the easier it is for the heat to affect their sperm counts, but it's also, it seems like it takes it longer after the heat drops or the temperature drops back down to normal. It takes it, the older the buck is, it seems like it takes them longer to get it back. Because some people will tell you that it takes 60 to 90 days for a rabbit to get their sperm counts back after they go sterile from the heat in the summer. But I'm telling you, I have bred a rabbit after the temperature dropped back down to like 80 degrees. I have bred a buck, Smitty, last summer, for instance. As soon as the weather broke, 3 days after, we had 80-degree weather for 3 days in a row, and I bred him to Twix, and we ended up, she had 11 babies that litter. But he was a young buck. Okay, he was only like 7 months old. This guy right here, he's not 2 yet, but he's like a year and a half. And that's not really old, but it's older than, say, Romeo, who's only a year. And it's older than Ace, who's only 5 months. And that's another reason why I used Ace. Him being the youngest buck, he may not even be old enough to have much of a sperm count yet. But he's my youngest buck, and I thought, well, if he's got a sperm count, he's most likely to be able to keep up and take care of these young ladies at this time of the year. So, I did try with, and one, I'm so impressed by the way he looks, you know, body-wise, that I think he is ideally the one that I most want to mix with Sally's genetics over there and see what results. But the resulting babies, what we know about them is the resulting babies will have the potential, if bred to, no matter what color they are, if they're bred to a red, they can produce red babies. Now this is assuming she's pregnant, but no matter what color they are, we also know that they have the possibility of producing red-eyed white babies, depending on what they're bred to. If Sally's pregnant and has babies, any of those baby does in that litter can be bred to Witter, and you're going to get red-eyed whites out of them. They won't necessarily all be red-eyed white, but some of them will be. Okay? To guarantee that all the babies in a litter is going to be red-eyed white, both parents have to be red-eyed white. Okay? I don't care if you have 1,000 litters of red-eyed white. If you're breeding a red-eyed white buck to a red-eyed white doe, all you're going to get ever is red-eyed whites. But if you've got a chestnut doe out of a red-eyed white and you breed it to him, you're still going to get some red-eyed whites, but you might get some more chestnuts. But the thing is if you breed it to him, he's got red genetics, so you can also get red. So it's kind of going to be a cornucopia, kind of an experimental thing. Going to make it fun, you know. Yeah, we want to have rabbits for show, but hey, can you really call yourself a breeder if you're not working your genetics? Sometimes you have to mix and go in the opposite direction. In other words, yes, any chestnut babies that develop out of Sally's litter, no, they're not going to be showable. They're not, but they're going to be purebred still, and they're going to be fully pedigreed. And they're going to be to the point where you can still breed them to other rabbits and get what you want out of them. You may not can show them directly, but you can still get babies out of them that you can show. You just like any other. Even if they're not showable and you plan on using them for breeding and you have a specific reason, you still want to pick out the best. The best of the best of the best. You know? I had 16 between Hershey and Glow Stick. Oh, and Tagging Irises litter back from late last year, I think it was, or maybe early this year. Okay, maybe it was from February. Anyway, had all those blacks, right? Got it narrowed down to 3 blacks, 1 buck and 2 does. I think altogether there was about 16 of them, and they've all the rest of them have left. They are no longer here. I've narrowed down to 3. What? Go on! You know how you can tell the females in ducks? The females, just like with people, the females are the noisiest. You don't believe me? Just ask my wife. Just like with people, females are always noisier. And I'm not going to tell you anything about any gestures I'm getting from behind the camera right now, because y'all don't need to know about that. But just suffice it to say, my wife is being rude and vulgar behind the camera. But anyway, I probably deserve it. Okay. Well, you just saw Marcy in a video, I don't know, a couple days ago or something. You just saw Marcy and Rome and Ace, and they've not changed much in a couple of days. So this is all the New Zealands that we have around here. Now we're going to cut this video off because it's probably getting kind of long, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but I talk a lot. We'll bring you a video. We're going to go around on the side of the building now. We're going to shoot it right now, but you'll see it in a couple of days. The New Zealands that are around on the other side, and we might even give you a peek of a couple of new mini wrecks that we've got around there that didn't get in the last mini wrecks video. All right. So y'all have a great day. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Ring your little bell. We're gonna have a duck dinner, and well, you know, we'll see you in a couple of days, folks. God bless.